Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I'm so glad because the Center for the Future of Work is an academic center from the University of Pretoria. So I'm very glad to see Prof. Burton here as well and to see her involvement in this very, very important project. So I began my career as an academic at the age of 23, which is very young, right? So you can imagine wide-eyed, 23-year-old, and I remember my very, very first lecture. That I don't think I will ever forget. You never forget your first lecture, I think. So I remember walking into the lecture hall for the first time, and one of my colleagues was nice enough to accompany me. So she walked me there, and we got into the lecture hall, and there are probably 400 or 500 students there at that point. So I walk in there and I am completely frightened looking at all of these faces. And she helped me connect all of my equipment. Okay, the projector is working. I said, yes, the projector is working. And she said, okay, fine. Are you fine? I said, yeah, I'm fine. Then she said, okay, good luck. And she walked out, and I now had to present a lecture for the first time. And that was when I realized that academia has a very strong culture of us having to work very independently. So that was my wake-up call, that nobody's coming, you have to figure out how this whole thing is going to work, right? So as academics, we're taught pretty much from the word go that you have to learn how to work independently. And when I completed my PhD, it was a very similar feeling, because you spend 3, 4, 5, 6 years, however long it takes, because every PhD is different. You spend all of these years working on this thesis. And anyone who has gone through this process, you would know that a PhD literally consumes your entire life, right? Everything becomes PhD. And once you're done with the PhD, you start trying to figure out what's next in my career. Where am I going now? And the only thing you hear is publish or perish. And then you think, okay, so how am I supposed to do this publishing thing, right? No one has really explained this process to me. I still have to now, again, independently figure out how I am going to do this. So I would say when we talk about Society 5.0, and I'll briefly explain what that is, we desperately need technologically enabled platforms that allow us as early career academics to collaborate with not just seasoned academics, which is very important, but also with other early career academics, right? We need to break down those silos. It's so important. And technology is there to enable that process, right? So one thing I've noticed even as an academic is sometimes we don't even know what the person in the next office is working on, right? So you'll be working on some research only to find that probably just a few doors down, there's somebody working on something very similar. And had you worked with them, you would have produced a much stronger output than you working on your own, right? So not even the fact that we don't know what people in other universities are doing, we barely even know what the person down the hall is doing. So at the Center for the Future of Work, I think I should just talk very briefly on what the center is. The Center for the Future of Work at the University of Pretoria looks into what skills will be needed in the future and how do we prepare people with the correct skills to adapt to all of the changes that are happening in the work environment. And our center is, and I'm going to use words we use all the time, it is inter and transdisciplinary. And as academics, we talk a lot about the importance of inter and transdisciplinary research and collaboration, which are words I've heard today as well. But again, we keep on being drawn as academics to, I have to work on my own, because that's the culture that we've created. So working at the Center for the Future of Work has taught me that in recent years, the technological and AI revolution, it has brought about a lot of discomfort for a lot of people, right? Around the influence of technology on the way that we work. Many of us still ask the question, will ChatGPT steal my job? But the reality is that technology and technologies like Thuso Resources and Thuso Connect are there in order to accelerate the way that we work, and also to accelerate the impact that we have on society as academics. So technology is not there to steal the work that we do, but rather it's there to help us, to enable that work, to make it easier and to make the work even more impactful. And that is what Society 5.0 is. Society 5.0 is about a society where we can resolve various social challenges by incorporating the innovations of the fourth industrial revolution. So it's about creating a human-centered society that is assisted by technology, not completely subsumed by technology. So Society 5.0 is not something that is coming in the future. We are currently living in Society 5.0, and Thuso Resources and Thuso Connect show us that that is absolutely true. So as you know, Thuso Resources is a national toolbox of helpful resources for early career researchers and scholars. And I know that it would have helped me when I was an early career academic, but now that I'm still an early career academic, it will still, platforms like this will continue to help me to establish myself as a researcher and help me to add to the lacking African body of knowledge on the subject of the future of work. I can use this platform to find relevant articles and to reach out to potential collaborators, not just at the University of Pretoria, but across the country, which is phenomenal. And then Thuso Connect will help me to access the mentorship that every early career researcher desperately needs. And as I was thinking about this last night, it made me realize that it's like Tinder, but instead of a date, you get a mentor, which is fantastic. So the era of working in silos is over. And one of the most important skills that we find in the future of work, or one of the most important skills of the future, is the ability to work effectively and efficiently with others. This shows the importance of collaboration in the current and future workplace, especially for us as academics. So I'll end off with a quote by Chuck Page, and this quote reads very simply. It says, "A single leaf working alone offers no shade." Thank you very much.